liberty and justice for all. Let me explain to you guys what liberty is, okay? Liberty is your ability to do whatever you want, and it's only limited by the rights of others. You do not get to trample on the rights of others. That is liberty. You get to do what you want to do until it infringes on the rights and liberties of another person. You're going to want to hit the thumbs up. Welcome back, guys, to another edition of What the Hell Does the County Want this time? So it looks like we received another letter from Bonner County, the communists of Bonner County, who want to control private property and make sure they can tell you what to do on your own private land. So this is like letter 5, I don't know. Let's see what they want. All right. Dearest Mr. and Mrs. Catron, that is Shelby and I, included with this letter is a copy of a building location permit application with new verbiage highlighted. Sweet, they changed the contract. This new verbiage was considered by the planning director, who's a liar, and county supervisors for use with new building location permits and declaration of exempt structures. This new verbiage should address your concerns regarding the location reviews required for a permit. I'm going to take a wild stab in the dark, and I'm going to say that this does not address my concerns, because my concern this entire time has been that they do not get to use their permits to gain access onto private land, which they are not entitled to be on. But the county thinks that they are entitled to be on private land, and that whatever they have stuck in a code trumps your right to privacy. So law enforcement needs a warrant to come onto private land, but Bonner County tries to restrict your liberties to get onto private land. But let's see what this thing says. That might be me not being so optimistic. Let's see. To avoid any further issues, we have decided to stop lying to the people of Bonner County. Just kidding, that's not in there. That part wasn't in there. They're going to continue being deceitful people. To avoid any further issues, please complete and sign this application and return it to the planning department with applicable fees. Oh, so they've added fees to this now. They've got, it looks like what used to be a free permit has now turned into a permit with fees on it. So we'll have to check that out. Should you have any questions or concerns, hit the thumbs up. Please call the planning department for any information or clarification. Will do. Sincerely, Lying Lee Corneliuson, compliance investigator. So Lying Lee likes to lie to people, and he's been caught lying to people, and he's very deceitful in his tactics and his ways. He likes to play it off like, oh gee, you know, someone turned you in and I'm so sorry, but I got to do my job. I gotta pay them bills, just like the Nazis did, just doing my job. I had to burn those Jews. Lion Lee goes searching for these on the internet through YouTube. They were doing it through a real estate website until we contacted the real estate website and said they were doing it. And it was violating their terms of service, which means they were breaking the terms of service and violating, Realtor.com's codes. They were violating it, so they had to switch, and now they're using a different Realtor website that doesn't have it in their codes. So we'll have to call them and get them to switch their codes as well. But what they would do is go on and look at houses that are listed, and then he would look for any infractions and then come after you to generate revenue off of all the stuff that you've built. So let's see here. Here's the highlighted part. And it looks like they've tacked on a $25 tech fee. That must be for Lee to sit on his ass and watch YouTube on taxpayer money too. He does it at work to fill time. And it's documented too. I'm not making this up. We've seen their emails. We've talked to him about it. To fill time, they get on YouTube and they watch people's YouTube videos, or they get on the internet and look through people's Facebook to see what you're doing in your life and to see how they can interject themselves into your life and how they can come into your pocket and take from your pocket, right? The hard workers at the county. look behind me here, guys. Working today. Look at that. Working today, right? Working hard. And old Lion Lee has inserted himself into my life today. Let me know I owe him $25 for him to sit on his squishy little ass. All right, let's read this thing. I/we further grant permission to Bonner County Planning Department employees to enter upon subject land to make examinations or review the premises relative to this application during normal business hours. I/we authorize inspections by appointment. Okay, so there's the little box they want you to check, says that you allow them to come onto your property because they need permission to come onto your property. So what they're saying here is you do not have the liberty in Bonner County, North Idaho, you do not have the liberty to build any kind of a structure, be it a chicken coop, anything. Not a shelter for your goats, nothing. If you construct anything, they're coming on here to take from you. They want to make sure that they can take something from you. And they're taking from you by checking this box. What they are doing is they are making you forego your liberties or for your privacy to get your liberties, right? So I have to sign this box allowing them on my property so that they can grant me permission to build on my own land. Does that sound like America to you guys? That is straight up communism, straight up socialism. When the government says that they can tell you what to do on your own private land, i.e. build on your farm, that fence probably, who knows if that thing needed a permit? Who knows if my flower beds, they're constructed, you know, do they need a permit? Do they need one of these exemption permits that says that I don't need a permit? Total bullshit, guys. So here's the thing. So we raised hell about it, and I said, listen, your contract says that any employee of Bonner County can come onto my property. Anyone. And then there was no time. So they could have come on here at midnight and walked around my property based on the contract. And when we told them we wanted changes made, those were the only changes that they made. And then they acted like it was a big deal, as if, you know, we needed it. You know, it's not a big deal. It's not like we're not going to come during business hours, but the contract would protect us if we decided to just show up whenever. So we wanted it changed. We also wanted it changed that we do not have to give up our right to privacy to build on our own land. If we were to build on our own land and you wanted information as to a location to make sure that it's not violating setbacks, because that is what the building department is about, is to make sure you don't violate a setback, which is an arbitrary number that they've come up with to make sure that you haven't built too close to your neighbor's property. If I went over to my neighbor and said, hey man, can I build right on the line? And he's like, yeah, dude, that would be an awesome idea. I'm going to do it too. And I'm like, dude, sweet. Let's connect our buildings together. It'll be awesome. We'll paint it the same color too. 2 private citizens in America couldn't come up with that agreement and make that happen because the Bonner County Planning Department wants to interject themselves into the private dealings of private citizens in this area and say, no, you can't do that because we control the boundaries around here and we control your property. So you and your neighbor can't come up with this deal. We can't allow you guys to build close to each other. That's tyrannical behavior, guys. These guys are tyrants. And I can tell you, if I went to my neighbor and I said, hey man, can I build just cush right up to the line? Can I build a little shed right here? Just tickle that line. Do you care? You know what he's going to say? No, man, I don't care. Because me and my neighbor have talked before about a lot of different stuff. And I know for a fact that he's not going to care. And if me and him signed a contract with each other saying, dude, build away, you got my permission, sweet. The county should absolutely have zero say in that taking place. So here's my issue, guys. That box right there is not getting checked. I'm not turning this in, and I'm not giving Lying Lee $25 of my money. Not gonna happen. I gotta go buy a box of Band-Aids. Sorry, Lee, I'm gonna have to spend that $25 that my family has earned. I'm not gonna be able to give it to you today. So part of the dealings of going on out here, guys, is we have dealt with Bonner County now for almost a year now, and all I have seen is lying and deceit from all of its employees that I've dealt with. Every one of them has lied to my face or have played dumb which is lying in my book. When you act like you don't know what's going on and you want to play the dumb guy role, you're lying about it. And if you're that incompetent, you certainly should not be working where your job affects anybody. And I've seen so much incompetence from the planning director, Milton Ollerton. I've seen so much incompetence from this guy. I'm not going to sign a contract with any of these people. I would never deal with people like that, ever. Why would you sign a contract with someone that lies to you, to your face, on video, lies to you in the beginning of the video, admits it later in the video, just an absolute bullshitter the whole way around? I'm not going to do business with those people. I can't be forced into contract to do business with those people, and I'm not going to do it. So if you guys are in Bonner County, up here in Great North Idaho, that thank God is still a free state. It's starting to dwindle with these California boys running for office up here, and all these outer staters. These guys aren't from here. They move up here, they get jobs here, and then they completely screw up what Idaho is. So if you guys are coming here because you like what Idaho is, don't come here and change it. Come here, embrace it, and enjoy it, because there's other places around this country where you can go. Now, I've gone up and talked to the commissioners, or excuse me, I've gone up and dealt with one commissioner. And when I told him my issues, his response was, well, you know, we're a lot better than most places. Guys, I can't stand this attitude. This attitude of, well, no, it's good enough. For me, I'm not a good enough kind of person. I'm a person who strives to improve. Where can we be better? How can I do a better job? What can I improve on? And these guys sitting back saying, well, it's freer than California, so it's okay if we shit on your liberties just a little bit. And guys, let's make no mistake about it. These commissioners, the planning director, all these clowns, they all sit down during their meetings. They say the Pledge of Allegiance. I pledge allegiance before every single meeting. I pledge allegiance, right? So for them to sit up there and pledge allegiance, liberty and justice for all, these clowns are just going through the motions with their empty pledge, which shows a lot about their character. Anyone who's willing to sit up there and lie, to say one thing and their actions prove another, thank God we're voting this year. Thank God it is a voting year this year, because these clowns all need to go. Top down, all of them. You violate your oath, get out, go away. We'll get people who respect liberty and who respect oath up in North Idaho, because North Idaho doesn't need to become what California was where you came from. It doesn't need to become the states where you came from. We'll just keep it the way that it was. We'll get hardworking people. We'll get hardworking people into that office who understand what it's like to bust your ass to do things, not sit on your ass and become morbidly obese. I'm tired of these people. I'm not checking your box. And this new fee schedule where you think you get to charge me $25, I'm not paying it either. Get a warrant. You want on my property? Go get a warrant. Go get a warrant. Sheriff has to do it. Go get a warrant to come on my property. Until then, I'm not contracting with you. So it looks like they're tacking on fees, guys. And here's the problem. Here's all the fees, right? Here's all the fees of whatever, all this stuff. There's all the fees, right? All of a sudden they're tacking a fee onto this. This is the first letter I've gotten that they've tacked a fee onto. That's a tax. That's taxation. They are taxing you. They are now saying the permit's no longer free. We are going to tax you. That's a tax. You're taxing again. You're taxing the people. You are taxing the people. You're going to keep going up with the fees? You guys are clowns. Absolute clowns. Let's see. It looks like they've added a tech fee to everything. Just kind of glancing over this thing. Oh, investigative fees. Okay, so they've turned on, they've put on investigative fees on here as well, which means what they've done is, because we've raised so much hell here, and I have to look at this because I haven't even looked it over, but because we've raised so much hell here and tried to get things changed the way you're supposed to, where you go to them and tell them you have an issue with the way that they operate, and then they change because they answer to us during the election cycle. Now what they're doing is they are charging you, it looks like, $80. Looks like $80 for an initial fee there. I'll have to read that again. Looks like $160 plus mileage costs for investigative fees of all violations. So now what they're doing is they're saying, well, if you're in violation, we're going to charge you up the ass just to deal with you. Now, remember, my last letter was from the prosecuting attorney's office threatening me, telling me that they're going to take me to court and hit me with a bunch of civil penalties or file criminal charges for allegedly building on my land. Criminal charges for allegedly building on your own land? Crazy. And now they've turned it into, because that obviously didn't stick. Obviously, you can't get criminal charges for building on your own land for violating a code. A code is not a law, so you don't get criminal charges tacked onto that. And so their little bluff didn't work because I didn't take me to court. Well, let me get a jury. I'll talk to my jury. That didn't happen. So they threatened me, which is what, right? Threaten, coerce, and then steal your money. They threatened me, and now they're sending me a revised whatever and telling me I owe them 25 bucks. No thanks. Hit the subscribe button.